Welcome back! If you guys watched the previous video, you'll remember that I said that we're fast-tracking this 1972 flat windshield Super Beetle because Robert is without a car after his accident that totaled out his daily driver. We need to get his grandfather's old Volkswagen back together as quickly as possible so that, once again, Robert has transportation. This Super Beetle is in excellent condition for a car that's been left to sit outside for the last 30 years, and quite to everyone's surprise, doesn't have an unusually large amount of rust. Most of the problems are in the floor pan, in the engine compartment, and in the area around the
death foam.
Yes, death foam. It's what kills most of these Volkswagen's rear sections from 1968 and up. But there's a little hole here and there around the body, which I'll be fixing, but overall this car is a great candidate for restoration, even if it is a stupid Beetle.
No, I don't want a longer one.
Today we're going to attempt to replace the floor pans, but not without first going through a lot of aggravation and sharing a bunch of gripes. Oh man, nothing is ever easy, right? Am I right? Yeah, you know it. But it wouldn't be a great video without any drama, though, would it? Yeah, probably not. So welcome back to DuckmanCycles of VW Garage. I'm your host, the Duckman. Stay tuned here. We got a lot more to come. Licky, likey, comment, subscribe, pluck the dingabelly, check out duckshit.net for all of my different social media links. Thanks for watching. We'll be back right after that intro. Oh, the irony. Because Duckman is a fat bastard. Alright, well we're starting off here with a gripey video. I hate to start off gripey, but these are things I just need to talk about. Now, this body was supposed to be separated from this floor pan here to do nothing but replace floor pans and patch body holes around here. Just rust repair, that's it. He's going to handle all the fill and all the restoration, paint work, and all that afterwards. It's all on him. For me, just the welding work, the heavy physical things, and then just the basic reassembly. Drop the body back in, stick a couple bolts in it, and the rest is up to him. He's given me a body that was supposed to be ready to come off the chassis, and this is far from ready. Now you think about what typically ties a body to a chassis on a Volkswagen Beetle, and there's only a couple things. About 40 bolts all the way around the body, the steering column, the wires that go to your master cylinder, the wires that go to your backup light switch on the transmission, and that's about it. There's really not too much else that I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, speedometer cable and seat belts. That's about it, and pull the seats out of the way, and typically the thing's ready to come out. The engine's already out of here, so we can belay all the engine wires, any of that nonsense. We don't have to worry about the heater cables or any of that either, because that's all been removed since the engine's been removed. But in this case, this happens to be an auto stick. And it happens to also be an air-conditioned car. So there's oil lines that run everywhere. There's compressor lines, condenser lines, and all that crap that runs everywhere too. There's additional wiring harnesses that go to all kinds of stuff. This car is just not ready to come apart. As soon as I started to lift it up, right away I noticed that there were oil lines still connected to the auto stick transmission right here. And that was causing me an issue because as I lifted up the body, it got hung up. There was a lot of wiring harnesses that were still connected inside the body here. The stuff that was connected in the battery area and over in the regular area was still hooked up. Not a big deal, quick unplug. That's now out of the way. But then you look at this is our air conditioning lines. And it was already split and already starting to crack, so it tore the rest of the way when I started to lift up the body. And he told me he's going to replace the lines anyway. But there's another line on the other side. I guess you can't see it. Well, you kind of can see it. It's right on my fingertip under there. In fact, I'm shaking the car. You can see it waggling under there. That's it. That side had a little nick in it also, probably from lifting up the body, and it has since split and separated also. So I think that the body in the rear anyway is just about ready to come off. I'm going to have to just double check everything and make sure that we're not getting hung up on anything else. Right now I just have the thing simply lifted up underneath the rear apron. Bodies don't weigh a whole lot, so I'm not worried about crushing anything. But I have to get the body out of the way because these floor pans have to go in this body. And as you saw me do the floor pans in the Carmageddon with B, we did it with the body on, and I expressed that I would never do that again, because that was the biggest pain in the ass going. So this body's going to come up and out of the way. I'm probably going to stick it on a stand or a cart or something of some sort. And also when it's up a little higher, it's easier for me to work on it because I'm so damn tall. I don't feel like being bent over. It's just going to take me longer to work on the thing if I'm going to have a sore back. So we'll get it up in the air. But I think we got it about separated here in the rear. I'm just going to poke around and make sure I got everything, and I'm not missing a wire, and I'm not going to break something else in the process. Now, when everything is said and done and this car is reassembled, he wants me to string the new wiring harness through here. But it is still unclear whether or not the new wiring harness has all the provisions for the auto stick transmission setup that's on here, and I don't know how any of this works. I have no interest in even learning how it works, and I've expressed that. So I'm going to be pulling wires to wherever they're supposed to go, and then I stop because he's going to make the rest of the connections himself. But we'll be pulling out this tar board inside of here. I'm going to look for rust behind there. I don't think there is any though. We're going to clean up the rest of the other things like the flange around the edge here, which is shot. That's all going to come out. And, well, right now it's just a matter of getting his body off. Once the body is out of the way, we can truly proceed. This is a lot more work than I want to get into. And one of the telltale signs that you've removed the front bolts is the front end will just jump up in the air, and that's what it did. So, doing! As soon as I found the last two bolts, that's exactly what it did. Now, the front end of these on the pan is kind of shaped like a hammerhead, and there's two bolts on the ends of them. Once those are released, the whole front end pretty much just jumps right up and out of where it's at. Whew, actually got a little winded. I'm beating this thing up. But anyway, I came out here in my metal cutting shirt today. Why do I call it a metal cutting shirt? You know, because it's got all holes in it from all the sharp, pointy metal that I've cut with it in the past. You probably noticed by looking at the back of my shirt while doing this video, it's got all kinds of holes down the back of it. A lot of those are from Rob's car, because up underneath his hood, somebody squared off the bottom of it. They cut right across here, so in either corner, it was sharp and pointy. And while I'm inside the trunk working, and I come up and catch my shirt on it just like that, it would tear a chunk out of my shirt. So a lot of my DuckmanCycles wardrobe is ruined because of Rob's Beetle. Thanks, Rob. Alright, well, you know what I have not checked? It's master cylinder reservoir. Let's make sure that's empty so that way before I lift the body up that it doesn't yank the lines off and dump brake fluid all over my driveway. That's if it hasn't already. It may have. Well, I don't see any poodles. Maybe not. Let's have a look inside of here. Now it looks like it's already empty. That's a good sign. Okay, good. Oh, busted cap. Make sure he's aware of that. Alright, I had forgotten that the tie rods, which are laying down there, are actually connected to the body up here. Steering box on that side, and there's a little idler arm over here. So those had to be removed also in order to get them dropped. Now they're attached to the pan and the pan only. And looking between these two, I think we're officially separated. I think this body's just about ready to come off. Oh, the struts weren't unbolted either. I took care of those, got those separated and unbolted. All the bolts are right there, attached to a magnet. Nice, safe location. Yes. It turns out that that steering knuckle didn't even need to be attached from the steering shaft at all, because it's all part of the body. That's Super Beetleism stuff for you. I think in the future, though, I'm not going to be working on a whole lot of Super Beetles. I don't like these things. No, I'm really not a big fan. Somebody wants me to do some patchwork or something, you know, a floor pan. If you have it ready for me like Gabriel did, or Vocho Wagons for those of you that watch him also. When I did his floor pans, he had everything pre-separated for me. So it was just a matter of cutting, welding, and send him home with it. And this case, well, I'm putting more work in than I had agreed to. I should have just been able to lift this body off and gotten directly to the floor pans immediately. Should have taken me no more than 30 minutes to an hour. You know, I think next time I'm just going to ask for these components separately. Bring me the pan, then bring me the body. And that way I can guarantee it's separated. And if they complain, well, then, you know, I'm not interested. I mean, I do a lot of this stuff as favors for people, and for what Robert is getting all this for, yeah, he's getting a heck of a deal. Yeah, it looks like that pan is out. I think we're good. I think we are very, very good. Verifying all the loose wires here are all detached. I unplugged everything from over there also. Looks good. I guess it's ready to go up. Okay. think we about got it. Okay. Fuck it up.
6.5 hours later.
Well, if you can't tell, I'm abso-friggin-lutely exhausted. And I probably should have been running the camera through all this. But the neighbors are running their lawnmowers and making a whole lot of noise, and I was getting a little pissy because I'm doing things that I wasn't supposed to do. But behind me here is the way this car should have arrived. Yeah, what you're looking at there, I did it myself. I didn't have anybody helping me. I didn't use a proper lift. I didn't have 4 men or even 2 men. I did it myself. I did it by hand. And it's not easy to do. It really isn't. You see the 2x4s that are standing over there. There's a floor jack over here. That dolly that body is sitting on, you might even find that familiar because it happened to be the same dolly that Eleanor sat on for a couple years over at Earl's shop while she was getting paint. But that's a Super Beetle suspension, and that's how they collapse once the body's been removed, because the body holds the struts together and keeps everything square. And they have that really unusual tie rod setup on there where the steering box and steering shaft and all that stuff also lives in the body. Not at all like a standard Beetle. Well, now that I've seen this apart, we can get a good look at the Napoleon's hat area, which was a concern that Robert and I were talking about, and it looks like that one is probably okay. I don't see any severe rust on top, and when I was underneath, I didn't see anything underneath there. It looked like it was bad either. The floor pans, you might say, hey, you know, they don't look too bad, but they're actually covered in tarboard, and while I didn't show you the bottom of it, they have some severe holes up in the front area, and there's a lot of spots that are just worn thin. And sure, yeah, I could probably cut out a section of it and patch it, but Robert wants this car done right. He wants to have a brand new set of floors under it, and I gotta admit, there's nothing better than having a good brand new set of floors underneath it for a proper safe ride. But yeah, we're gonna cut them up, but at this point, I'm completely tired. Oh yeah, this is the kind of thing that I'm dealing with here. See, transmission's leaking all over my driveway. And that was from it just sitting here. This is not from me moving it around at all today. It had nothing to do with me. This is just from it being here. So, not happy about that at all. Gonna have to get some kitty litter and clean it up. Probably will rain on it a few times before I even get that far, but that's just the way it's gonna be. Alright, well, we got the body off. We can get a good look at the rust and everything, and it's up a little higher. I wanted to put it up on the tall dolly, but seeing as how I put it on here myself, the tall dolly was just too heavy. It's just, I should say, too high, because I had to lift the damn body over the struts. Standard Beetle, I could have pulled it off. On here, forget it, no way. Just no way. Here's all the body bolts and things that were not removed that should have been. Everything that I had to remove is about 8 different bolts in there, and then there was the D-shaft or D-headed starter bolt that was in the transmission that I didn't want him to lose. I'm surprised it didn't fall out in transit. It was actually backed out all the way. It was just hanging on by the very, very tip, but these are a little hard to get, especially for a auto stick, so I want to make sure that he's got that in a safe place and it doesn't get lost. Well, now that the body's up, I can start hacking and whacking and cutting some pieces out of it. You know, I said it wasn't that much higher, but it is probably about 6 inches higher. 6 inches makes a hell of a difference when you're, you know, a good 6 to 8 inches taller than everybody else. So that's probably the first spot I'm going to attack. I think we'll probably get both these corner pieces back here. This one's even worse on this side. But I'll cut all this out, get the foam out of there, get that sucker patched back together. Might just get in here with the air chisel and start chiseling out the engine compartment seal lip. Just get that removed. Oh, I see there's a little patchwork in there that's got to be done too. That was something I wasn't contracted to do, but we're just gonna do it anyway. Because I'm a nice guy like that. Right, Robert? Well, he's gonna be in for a surprise when he comes back to get it, because I'm not putting it back on the chassis, not alone. He's gonna have to help me, and he's gonna have to get some of his friends together. And together, we'll orchestrate it, get this thing lifted, thrown back on the chassis, and then we'll get the basic bolts into it so that way it'll roll and roll straight so we can get it back up on the trailer to take it home. Well, I guess that's gonna be it for today. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to plug the dingle belly so you get updates every time I upload a video. Check out duckshit.net for all of my different social media links. And thanks you guys for watching. More updates on this one coming up very soon. But I got to get this out of here. I can't have this thing sitting here forever. Plus, I got other people this summer that want floor pans too. And I don't know, I've just been saying yes to everybody. Want me to help you? Yes, I'm the Duckman. Yeah, I'll help you. Just bring it over. I'll make some great videos. Now I got a Super Beetle. Yay me. Thanks for watching.